Would you dare to watch a cursed videotape, even knowing that by the end of it, you'd have only 7 days left to live? And what if this curse had already started spreading to the people you love? What's real and what's illusion when fear creeps into even the safest corners of your mind? In today's video, we'll dive into the psychological and supernatural horror of The Ring, one of the most disturbing films of the early 2000s. Get ready to uncover the mystery behind the tape that haunts, the girl who emerges from the well, and the screams that echo from the other side of the screen. Watch until the end. Click on the suggested video that will appear and subscribe to the channel for more chilling breakdowns like this one. In The Ring, 2002, the audience is introduced to a dark universe where fear doesn't come from visible monsters, but from psychological suggestion and the inevitability of fate. The plot begins with two teenagers casually talking about a mysterious videotape that supposedly kills anyone who watches it within 7 days. Right after this eerie conversation, one of them dies in a shocking manner, setting the main story in motion. Reporter Rachel Keller, played by Naomi Watts, decides to investigate, especially after discovering that the victim was her own niece. What seemed to be just an urban legend quickly transforms into a deadly puzzle when Rachel finds the tape and, driven by curiosity and duty, watches it, sealing her own fate. Director Gore Verbinski crafts an atmosphere that's heavy, quiet, and deeply unsettling. Every scene feels meticulously framed to build growing tension. Cold tones, damp and foggy settings, and a haunting soundtrack create a world where discomfort is constant. This is not a film about cheap scares, but about gradual psychological disturbance. Rachel must uncover the origin of the cursed tape before her 7 days are up. And with every step toward the truth, she sinks deeper into a story of pain, rejection, and spiritual vengeance. The tape, seemingly nonsensical, contains symbols and images that, when deciphered, point to the root of the curse, the tragic tale of Samara Morgan. The Ring isn't just a horror film, it's an invitation into psychological discomfort, a plunge into narratives about the power of communication and the persistence of trauma. The viewer is drawn into a mental game where every detail could be a clue, every noise might hide a revelation, and every image might be the last thing someone sees before they die. As Rachel digs deeper into her investigation, the film begins to deconstruct the very logic of the supernatural. With each new discovery, the tension doesn't ease, it evolves. The tape isn't just a random sequence of disturbing images, it's a map, a visual manifesto of a past that demands to be remembered. Rachel realizes the key lies in Samara Morgan, a mysterious girl adopted by a secluded family living on an isolated island. And it's on this island that viewers start to understand that the real horror isn't just in the tape, but in the source of Samara's suffering. The story reveals psychological abuse, neglect, and a misunderstood sensitivity, all of which transformed Samara into something beyond life, into a presence that clings to those who dare to look. The emotional tension escalates when Rachel's own son, Aiden, begins to show signs of being connected to Samara. He draws her, speaks to her, and seems to know far more than he should. This adds a layer of desperation to the narrative. Now, it's not just Rachel's life at stake, but her child's. The clock is ticking, and with each passing day, the visions intensify, nightmares grow stronger, and the curse's effects become more physical. Victims begin to bleed, vomit, and see things that aren't really there. Rachel and her ex-husband Noah follow a trail of clues hidden in medical records, old photos and abandoned archives, until they uncover the place where Samara was kept, a psychiatric hospital where even the doctors feared approaching her. The second half of the film blends a chilling investigative tone with pure horror, producing a sense of helplessness. The viewer never knows what's coming next. Even when clues are found, they seem to open doors to even deeper mysteries. The Ring plays with the audience's expectations, suggesting that perhaps, just perhaps, understanding Samara's past is the way to break the curse. But the film is far too clever to offer easy answers. Each new revelation only pushes salvation further away, distorting hope, like the static on an untuned television. As The Ring approaches its climax, Rachel and Noah finally believe they've solved the mystery and freed Samara's spirit by finding her body at the bottom of a well. They assume that by giving the girl a proper burial, the curse will be lifted. That's what logic and traditional horror movie rules would have you believe. But The Ring defies that expectation. The moment of relief quickly fades, and that's when the true horror is revealed. Samara didn't want peace. She wanted to be seen. She wanted her pain to spread like a virus through the tape. She isn't a victim seeking rest. She is the epicenter of a curse designed to last, to grow, and to never be forgotten. The film's most iconic scene delivers its final blow. The television turns on by itself, the static comes to life, and Samara emerges from the well and steps out of the screen. This moment transcends typical horror. It's not just a scare, it's a complete violation of the boundary between fiction and reality, shattering the viewer's sense of safety. The terror now escapes the screen, literally, and when Noah dies from the encounter, Rachel realizes that the only way to survive is to copy the tape and show it to someone else. The curse isn't broken, it's passed on. An endless chain of silent suffering. The ending of The Ring offers no relief or catharsis. On the contrary, it's a cruel reminder that evil doesn't always want to be destroyed. Sometimes it wants to be preserved. The tape is more than just a macabre artifact. It's a reflection of our modern obsession with imagery, media, and morbid curiosity. The film closes with an unspoken question that lingers. How far would you go to save your own life? Would you share the curse with an innocent person? Would you press play, knowing the consequences? And so, The Ring ends the way it began, with a cycle restarting, with fear not just of death but of choice. It's a film that doesn't leave the viewer feeling safe, but disturbed, as if something has been awakened. And maybe it has. Maybe now that you've heard this story, it's already too late to stop. The tape is already playing. If you enjoyed this analysis, click the video that's now on your screen and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this one. And remember, don't watch it alone.